everybody, and welcome to White Line Fever Live. It's the first show we've done in a few weeks, or maybe a week and a bit, something like that. Certainly the first video one in about a fortnight. Before I introduce our guest, I want to thank everyone who supports us on Patreon, patreon.com/White Line Fever. And that's about it, basically. If you're listening, look at the show notes. If you're watching, also look at the show notes, and you can find heaps of cool links there, stuff that will interest you, and also ways to support the show. Our guest, and I actually went to the barbers yesterday and got cleaned up because he's always impeccably turned out. Is a fellow who's been on once before, Keith Mason. Hey, Keith, how are you, mate?
It's great to be back on, Steve. How you doing?
Good. Now, there's a lot to talk about, but I think we should maybe rewind a little bit to before we started recording and broadcasting. You were telling me about a workout you just did that was not a workout. Can you explain to the viewers and listeners a bit about that?
Yeah, so it's called EMS, electrical muscle stimulation, and it's basically you put a suit on. It's like a giant TENS machine, and what you do is you work for 20 minutes non-stop, and there's certain exercises like you do crunches, you'll do squats, you do single L squats, you'll do triceps, you'll do biceps. So every 4 seconds, you breathe in for 4 seconds, and the 4 seconds you breathe out, the whole suit electrocutes you basically. So it's like zzz, so it contracts your muscles. So when you're doing the actual crunch, you're squeezing all your muscles, and it's like, honest, I burn about 600 calories in 20 minutes. I've never done that ever. An intense workout, and it's something different for me because it just mixes my training up. I like to do a lot of things like running, walking, hiking. Do a lot of yoga now because obviously playing rugby league for so many years, your joints get stiff, and having ruptured discs in my neck and my back, which took me out of action for quite a while. I'm very aware of what type of training I do now, so I just mix up a lot of things. But I stay away from like heavy squats and bench press and all that kind of stuff. I don't tend to do that. But this EMS, which is in Harrogate at the minute, but they're moving over to Leeds, Streets Lane. They're going to be working with my partner, Riona. And obviously, if you don't know Riona, she had a spinal stroke 6 years ago, which she became paralysed, and she's an incomplete from T12 down. But this will probably be the first time that Riona's had a real workout. There's certain stuff, most of the stuff she can do, and I think the personal trainers will help her through it. But it's just a game changer, and I'm really excited to see Riona on the machine, and obviously help her get up because with her injury. And if you look at her, you'd never think that she was paralysed because she's in such phenomenal shape, and she's got body dysmorphia and all the rest of it. But it's going to help her, and I'm looking forward to the results. 4, 5, 6 months down the line for both of us. So I think people should really get onto this. It's interesting, but it was a tough workout. I'm very surprised.
Can anyone get this EMS system? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, what you do is you go to the website. They're on Instagram. You go to the website and you just sign up for a free session. So everybody who goes gets a free session anyway. So you go there, you sign up. I can send you over the link after this call and that. But I'm not no promoter. I'm not part of this any business-wise. But I just think it's a different way of working out. But the contraction on the muscles is burning so many calories. And I think if people don't like running or don't like going to the gym, I think it's a brilliant alternative for people to go there and work out. And you've got a personal trainer literally stood right next to you helping you. So it's fun. It's fun. And I've heard some great things about it. So I'm looking forward to the results in maybe 6 weeks' time.
Now, the previous time we spoke to you, you had Rugby Blood, your graphic novel, out. And it made quite an impact, I think. Now, I think the reason that you're back is because you're doing a sequel. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What's the story?
What's the story? Well, to be honest with you, I mean, the first time around, the artist who I worked with, we decided to do the story about David King, which was originally a film script, which I'd co-written with another writer who Pinewood Studios took an interest in the script. I did a bit of research, realised that there's nothing ever been done on a comic book level or graphic novel level where it was a story about a rugby league player and other rugby league players like, you know, Dalia Evans Cherry, Tyson Frizzell, Victor Radley, the young fullback who plays for New Zealand Warriors, Reese, you know what I'm about, the young superstar. All these big stars, including Carl Zaghi, the boxer, who plays my partner in crime in the actual comic. We've got Adam Mills in there. And I just thought, you know, to reach out to these players and ask them if they wanted to be involved as characters and use their names and likeness was, I think, was a great idea for myself, a bit of a masterstroke, really, because, you know, what other people could have gone and reached out to athletes and said, do you want to be a comic character? And I just had the balls to do it. I did it, worked out. I decided to go with a different artist this time round. I think the artist is a lot more experienced than the last one, and the detail is just phenomenal. It's just amazing. It's going to be a joy for not just comic book readers to read, but just anybody in general. The storyline is a little bit different, but the artwork is just. And I'll send you some through. You can put some up onto social media if you want, but. You know, I'm very excited about the launch. The launch is either this week or next week. We're going to be setting up a Patreon page for Rugby Blood Volume 2, and it'll be a subscription, so people can buy a subscription. There's different types of subscriptions. There's a bronze, a gold, and a silver, and you'll get like 5 pages of the best artwork possible. But, you know, I'm really excited because there's nothing ever been done like this before. We're in a zone lane with this one. The story is developed. It's about a sports star who's kind of like a double agent. Jerome Lau plays a big part in this one. In fact, Jerome Lau he plays against David King in a one-on-one rugby league game. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's kind of an original concept what I came up with. So David King plays against Jerome Lau, but Jerome Lau's he's like a superstar, obviously, in the world of rugby, but he's a double agent in this story, as well as Josh Adukar in there as a double agent. You've got Adam Mills also in there. And all these big stars. So, and you know, they're quite buzzing about, especially Jerome Lau, because Jerome Lau's he's a big fan of anime, and you know, our goal really is to make this into an anime in the next 12 months, which would feature on Netflix. And, you know, to have them boys involved, maybe even use them boys as the players in Australia as voiceovers would be fantastic. So, yeah, there's no limits of where we can go. We're also talking about making the top trump cards, which are the game cards, with all the superstars from Super League and the NRL, but under the Rugby Blood banner. Mm-hmm. So,
mate, you did hope to do turn it into a film or a series.
Yeah,
Rugby Blood 1. How far down the track did you get with that?
Well, to be honest with you, Rugby Blood 1 is still his end goal is to do that, is to make that into the first episode of Rugby Blood. But we're talking about doing a remake of the actual comic. So basically, a similar story, but a new artist. So the artwork will be completely different. We'll probably add in a few more different plays in there. But the first book was, you know, it was about a young kid who overcame struggle stuff, and we decided to make that young kid my story when I was a kid. Because, you know, I was on the wrong side of the law, and I was in a lot of trouble as a kid, and it didn't seem like I was going to do anything with my life. And then at 14, after going to court so many times for so many misdemeanors, I decided that I wanted to be a rugby league player. And I made all the sacrifices, and you know that's what the book's about. It's a self-help book to show kids that you can go through a tough childhood, you can go through a lot of adversity, but if you have a dream and you have a desire to achieve that dream, then you can achieve it. And I'm a blueprint. I'm a blueprint for that. So it's just passing. It's just that, like I said, it's a self-help book, but it's a good story as well. And we've just continued with the Rugby Blood saga. And I think a lot of people probably thought they were quite surprised when I did something like this, but it's just one of many things I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, Keith, we'll move on to, I guess, you talk about the NRL and Jerome Luai. At the moment, we're in a very ugly situation, aren't we, in rugby league with the World Cup
Yeah.
And Jerome, I would not expect to see here at the end of the year now. With the jungle drums are that the NRL are going to get the postponement they wanted all along. How do you, as a rugby league person who's played at that level, how do you feel about that situation that exists?
I was quite surprised at first because obviously, with the rugby union happening. 2 seconds, mate. Lucas, just shut my door, please, bro. Yeah. That's my boy. I'm not really. I'm more of a fan of rugby league now than I was a couple of years ago, and obviously I'm a big supporter of my son now, who plays for Wigan Warriors. Lucas coming through, and he's a tremendous talent. They really rate him highly at Wigan, and I'm over there twice a week. So obviously I'm keeping an eye on tabs and stuff, and obviously with the rugby blood, having them relationships with the players who are part of rugby blood, I keep an eye on them players. So I just think it's sad for the players, to be honest with you, because the players are going to miss out on something so special, being a World Cup. And, some of them players who will probably get picked for Australia, probably never been picked for Australia. The likes of Jerome Lau, who's probably a shoo-in to play for Australia, won't get a chance to play at a World Cup. And I think this World Cup will be really competitive. I think you've got New Zealand, Australia, England, and then you've got the South Sea Islanders, Tonga, some dark horses in there. It's just a shame because they've got the South African and the British Lions playing. They've got the Olympics, over there in Japan. Now, I don't know about the CDC and World Health Organization, whoever they've been speaking to over in England, probably has mentioned that by the time the World Cup comes, with the Delta variant, there might possibly be another lockdown, or there could be a lot of cases. And I know for a fact that Australia have been really strict and disciplined when it comes to lockdowns. It's like 3 or 4 people get COVID and all Australia shuts down, and I think in England that wasn't the case. So it would be a shame. I'll be honest with you, it would be a shame because I would have enjoyed watching that, and I think it's a shame for the players. I think International Rugby League should be put on a much bigger pedestal than it is, because there's so many great teams and fantastic professional rugby league players on display for people to watch only at the game.
Have you encountered any kind of legal difficulties with the NRL? And you obviously you can't use the logos of the clubs, and it's just the players' own likenesses that you can use, right? I've
gone directly to the players. I've asked them themselves. I don't include any copyright stuff from Australia or Super League. In fact, Super League did endorse the first comic, but we've pretty much, the balling, the labelling and stuff is all by rugby blood. So I've been very careful on that side of things. I don't want to get sued. But, I think getting the players is the masterstroke, because rugby blood is it's not emulating the NRL. It's not emulating the Super League. It's its own entity. It's its own IP. And that's the way I want to keep it. And I just want to grow it, and I just want to see how good it can go, because not only will rugby league fans or rugby fans enjoy it, but I think any comic book fans will enjoy it. The story's brilliant. It's great. It's got a bit of espionage in it. It's got a bit of Die Hard, 007. You got the rugby league in there, so it's very colourful, and the storyline's fantastic.
What about the acting there, Keith? Has there been anything recent in that area?
Yeah, I'm actually booking the premiere for my newest film, Imperative, which is the first time I've produced a film, and it's the first time I'm a lead in a film. I play Detective Jack Sullivan. He's a guy who walks around with a lot of demons and a lot of pain. He loses his wife in the film. He's single, but his wife goes missing. She goes to hospital one night and never returns home. And DCI Sullivan was a really good cop, a very happy cop. And now in this part of his life, he's a depressed. He's pretty much like an addict, and he basically drowns his sorrows every single night. He comes home from work, being a detective, seeing murders and stuff, comes home and drowns his sorrows. But the main part of the film, the story to the film, is about a vigilante who's a serial killer, and he's going around the northern streets of England murdering people, but he's murdering people who have committed horrible crimes. So he's kind of taking bad people off the streets, but it's my job to catch him. And we've done a fantastic job of it. We really have. You know, I pretty much produced the whole film. I got a director who I knew were very talented. I needed to get him focused. He's a brilliant writer, and I just needed to get a team around me. I mean, I even got people who are non-actors, and they did a fantastic job. So the premiere will be in November. It will be the 27th. It will be at the Everyman Cinema in Leeds. And we're looking at distributing the film worldwide and hopefully get the film onto Netflix. And we're also writing the TV series around the main character, which is DCI Sullivan. So I've been really busy with that. And it's took us a couple of years. It took us 2 years to film it. But, you know, like I said, it's my first time leading the film. So people can actually, and a lot of people have been asking, you know, what am I doing and when can we see you in a film? But, you know, they're going to get their chance to see me in action and carry a film. And, you know, I think I did a decent job. So, but, yeah, it's up to them to agree with that.
Mate, I think we need to rewind a bit. How do you actually, you know, finance, I guess, for one, most importantly, I mean, how you decide you want to make a film, you know, you want to cast, you know, yourself as the lead. You've already done some acting elsewhere, but how do you get to the point of actually getting to the first day on set? I mean, how do you do that?
A lot of hard work and belief and perseverance. You know, the first I did was back in 2013 with Mickey Rourke. It's 2021 now. It's 8 years, you know, and I've had little bit parts here and there in films. You know, a lot of my time has been spent with my family and helping Rihanna walk again. So I made them sacrifices. There were a lot of opportunities I could have gone for. I could have gone to America, but I didn't because my family was more important and will always be the most important thing to me. But I think this film is going to get me to that next level. You know, I've got another film in September when I play a character called Mr. B in a film called Cookster. It's a true biopic. It's the first time I'm playing an actual character, a real life character. And then I'm in talks about doing a mafia film, which will be in 2022, which will be a franchise of films, and I'll be traveling to Milan and to Las Vegas in America. So there's a lot of projects coming up, but this one, obviously, you know, producing it myself, getting the locations, it's a weird one really, because, you know, I just think I'm quite a stubborn type of guy. When I want to do something, I'll go out, I'll put everything into it, and we've done it, we've completed it, and, you know, the people I got on board was great, the energy was great, and over a 2-year period, obviously with COVID, we had to stop filming. And it wasn't until about 3 months into the lockdown, I decided with my friend, I goes, you know, we need to, when we start going out, you know, on his hourly exercise, I says, we need to, I reckon we should do a scene in town, in Halifax town. So the scene looks like we've actually got the town to shut the town down. So, you know, it looks like we've paid a lot of money, but we haven't paid nothing at all. And that was just using my initiative. It's been really fun. You know, it's been really fun producing it. But, you know, the end product is looking absolutely brilliant. And, you know, we're going to have celebrities coming up. We're going to have Adam Mills, if he wants to come up. Joe Calzaghe will be coming. John Hartson. You know, quite a lot of my celebrity friends will be coming to the red carpet event. And it'd be fun. You know, it'd be fun. But, you know, I enjoyed the film. And it was tough and it was hard. But I'm excited for people to see it. I really am. I think they're going to be surprised. So
we'll go in a sec, mate, but you're on set and you're acting, but you're also worrying about every other aspect of the shoot, right? I mean, you're worried about the budget, you're worried about whether people show up on time, and, you know, all that, you know, like, as you just said, you went out, you know, into Halifax in lockdown. So how how do you do all that at once? Like, I mean, is it? I mean, it must be nerve-wracking. How can you just focus on acting? You know.
Well, like I said, acting is all about concentration in it. You know, you got to be concentrated. But I don't think I wasn't panicking because I got the team together, you know, and was in a group chat. So we were letting people know about certain times, and sometimes we'd need somebody there to do this scene, a certain scene. We actually got Jenna Bruff, Danny Bruff's missus. She plays a big part in the film. And you know what? She reached out to me. I reached out to people on Twitter and just asked, you know, is anybody interested in playing a part in this new film I'm doing? And Jenna reached out to me and she said, I love an extra part. And I went to my director and I spoke to him and I goes, you know what? We should give it a first start. We should give us some lines. So he goes, all right. So we agreed to it. And I reached out to her and I said, look, Jenna, we've decided we're going to give you an actual role in the film. And don't worry, you know, learn your lines and we'll help you through the scenes, which I did. And I did that with a number of actors who had never acted in their life, but they came in and they did a brilliant job. Look, just remember your lines, okay? Just remember your lines. Don't come in and not remember the lines because that's the hardest bit. There was one or two times where someone had turned up and completely not memorized his lines. So we had to improvise, you know what I mean? But it was fun. It was tough, and it was a challenge. But you know, like playing rugby league, playing in a team, teamwork, and having leadership and working together as a team, that translates into making a film.
Yes,
it's the same thing. And like I said, you've got to do the training. You got to put the road work in. You know, you got to learn your lines, come on set, and be concentrated and understand the scenes and, you know, what you've got to deliver. And I just think, you know, you come and just give it your absolute best. But concentration is a really big one. But I have actually enjoyed it being like a leader of the people because everybody enjoyed it. You know, there was you know, people in the film were 50 and people in the film were 15. But the good thing about it, the energy was great. You know, the energy was great. And I'm not a type of guy that shouts at people and stuff. And like, you know, it's about having that camaraderie and friendship, but also helping each other along. So, you know, it was a fun time. It's probably the most fun I'll ever have on a film set was doing my own film.
Before we go, Keith, I mean, I think most people watching or listening would be able to discern that you're the ultimate self-starter when it comes to, you know, self-motivating and actually getting out and doing things. And yet so many people you encounter in life sort of sit back and wait for opportunities to come to them, don't they? What's the secret to sort of escaping that and having a mindset where you decide you want to do something, you find a way to get the resources together to do it, and you just go out and do it? And is it contagious? Do you find that, you know, that when people see you doing it, that they start to change the way they think of life as well?
Yeah. You know, and like I said, I wasn't this great at first when I wanted to go into, obviously when you finish rugby league, it's really difficult, you know, to make that transition. And it's very rare, seldom that you'll see anybody, never mind being an actor, but kick on and be successful in something else. For me, listen, I left the game. I didn't want to leave the game in that way. I won the case against Huddersfield Giants. And then, you know, the last year playing rugby league, I lost love for the game at that time. But I knew that for me, you know, I was still young. I'm not finished. Like, I'm retired from sport, not from life. So for me, I think it's important for any athlete or people who are retiring, you've got to have something else you got to go for. Something that, you know, gives you that oomph and you want to get out of bed and go for it. And I think with rugby blood and learning to write and, you know, all the acting kind of things, they're my babies and I enjoy doing that. But the most important thing to me is family. I don't have it back to front. I don't forget about my family and go after my goals. I have a beautiful family. I've got a young son who's at Wigan Warriors, who I take twice a week. He's there for 2 hours, and while he's training, I'm running around DW Stadium doing marathons. And you know, I'm going to be a fan now of my son, and I have every confidence that he's going to go really far. Because his attitude's great. And I just think for me, I'm in a very good place in my life right now. You know, I did suffer with depression and stuff when I retired from football, and now just there's more blessings keep happening because I'm disciplined. You know, you set your goal out and you go after it with everything you've got, and just maneuver any negativity in your life. Just get rid of the debris, get through all the, as you call it, the shit stuff, and get to the good stuff. But it's took me 8 years, Steve, you know, to get to where I am right now. It's not just happened overnight. You know, you know, I stopped a couple of years ago. I'm a vegan now, and I'm just enjoying life. And I think if you're enjoying what you're going after, you're enjoying it, and it's not stealing your peace. I think that's what's really important. And I enjoy the acting because it takes me out of the comfort zone. You know, I'm lucky I didn't get smashed to pieces in rugby league, but I did because my body's, you know, I've got ruptured discs and my neck's hanging off and stuff. But, you know, I'm still in one piece. You know, I want delusional. Mickey Rourke put me in a film, give me that vision, and went after it. And I realised that, like I said, rugby league was just a platform for what I'm doing now. It was a platform for me to do what I'm doing now, because all the things I learned through my career, the losses, the adversity, the injuries, you know, the letdowns, the failures, the bouncing back, I use all them tools now. I use them all for every life to help my missus when she had a spinal stroke, and just to be there for her and encourage her. And I think that's what I am. People who I love and my friends, and even on film set, it's all about encouragement and encourage people that you can do better. Because, you know, sometimes we feel like we're doing good in life, but my ethos is that we can do a little bit better. Just make myself a little bit better than I was yesterday, and that's what I do, bro. I just give it my all, and you know, Rugby Blood and Imperative and all the other things we're doing. We're actually writing a book, me and Riona, which comes out next summer. It's our memoir about how we first met, and it'll also have an aspect of a step by step how we overcame certain things, whether it's stroke, spinal stroke, and that's going to be another opener for us, because we've got people who want to actually do the film, and actually a fly on the wall documentary for Netflix. So, you know, there's some interesting things happening for us, but, you know, we've done it tough. Me and my family have done it really, really tough. You know, with what happened to Riona and stuff, but we stay strong, and we believe in God and faith, and that's been a big part of it as well for me, spiritually. And I'm excited now. I'm excited. You know, I'm in a good place now, and I think anybody chasing after the dreams should go after them. If you've got a vision and you want to chase after that dream, just have the right people around you. You know, because sometimes you tell people your dreams, and the dream killers, they'll talk you out of it. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
Yeah, exactly. Before we go, where can people find you? What links and places on the internet and all that sort of stuff?
You can go on all my social medias, Keith Mason _official on Instagram, TikTok, which we're quite a bit of a sensation on there now, me and my family. That's Keith Luke Mason. Twitter is The Real Keith Mason, and Facebook and LinkedIn, Keith Mason. So, yeah, I just hope that people enjoy Rugby Blood. It's going to be out probably next week on subscription, so I can send that link over. If you want to put that in the notes, and that'd be